We will continue the discussion on the Nigerian Pension Fund Administration another time when we get through to Comrade Ivan Tako. But now we want to discuss the insurance recapitalization exercise. Sometimes last year, the insurance regulator, National Insurance Commission, NICOM, gave directives to the insurance companies to recapitalize. The companies that has life license were mandated to recapitalize from 2 billion to 8 billion. And for the insurance company that is operating on the general license is to recapitalize from 3 billion to 10 billion. And for composite insurance companies, they are to recapitalize from 5 billion to 18 billion. And for the reinsurance, they are to recapitalize from 10 billion to 20 billion. How is this recapitalization going? How are the insurance companies coping with the recapitalization exercise, especially during the COVID-19 dispensation? Joining me in the studio to lead the conversation on the Nigerian Insurance Recapitalization exercise is the Deputy Executive Secretary, the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, Mr. Tope Adaramola. Mr. Adaramola, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for finding time to join us on the program. Now, Mr. Adaramola, what's the relevance of the insurance recapitalization to the Nigerian economy?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Adaramola. Recall that for those that have been following the trends in the insurance industry, that Nigerian insurance industry, as of today, has not attained that position of being paired with its contemporaries, in other parts of the world.
Okay.
And of course, you often heard the common story that the industry is even struggling to be able to have 1% contribution to the nation's gross domestic product. And of course, if you don't mind, there are multifarious reasons that have been asserted for that, but let me spare our time,
Okay.
saying that those reasons are many. But the industry has now come to terms with the fact that for the industry to be able to play its pivotal roles, permit me to say that in advanced times, insurance companies own banks. And of course, insurance companies own banks here in our client.
Okay.
You have insurance being touted as a poor cousin of
Wow.
and of course, this is leading to a progressive thinking under the present leadership of the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, which is the government regulatory institution that superintends over the insurance industry.
Okay.
Hey, we cannot continue like this. Part of the ways by which we will be able to put insurance in the proper place where it should be is for us to enhance the capital, the operational capital of those companies via what we call the share capital, increase. And of course, this is being occasioned by the need for the industry to be able to assume greater risks. As we speak today, you will recall that many of the mega risks, it appears that our industry is not financially deep enough to be able to take them. So what you have is a temptation to call foreign underwriters or foreign insurance companies to come and take those risks from us. Simply not because our professionals are not seasoned enough, but the capital base is not sufficient enough. And of course, for the industry to be able to enhance its profitability, there's a common saying that your ability to make profit or the quantum of profit you make sometimes is also incumbent on the amount of money that you have to trade with. So the insurance industry as it is today will be able to enhance profitability when when it is better capitalized. And of course, when it's able to earn profit, it's not only able to take on the mega risks,
Okay.
it's also going to be able to launch into its progressive and innovative strides,
Okay.
which will put insurance, in the front burner of where it should be, just like it is in South Africa, even in Africa or Egypt or wherever it is. So an enhanced and a capitalized insurance company or company is the one that is going to be more able to be able to discharge its duties and bring everybody, to the conveyor belt when it comes to insurance acceptance in the country. And of course, it has multiplier effect. It will have multiplier effect on, the nation's GDP, its contributions, the industry's contributions, to be able to do more businesses. Better trust is earned, and of course, better return goes to our national economy.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I ask this question, let me quickly open the phone lines. We are discussing Nigerian insurance recapitalization exercise, and I'd like to open the phone lines to our viewers to join in the conversation. You can call us on the numbers that you are seeing on the screen of your television to join in this conversation. Now, Mr. Adaramola, the recapitalization exercise was given a deadline. Now, what necessitated the extension of that deadline?
Well, we are all living in a world where we know what is happening around now. Little thanks to the COVID-19, you will discover that the pandemic has sort of affected the global order, including economies and commerce.
Okay.
And of course, every facet of life is affected, including insurance. So in the wisdom of the National Insurance Commission, it is not just about bandying policies on the people. It is also about being sensitive to the ability to comply with those policies. Okay. So with the way things were going, and ordinarily on the street, you need not be told that the pandemic affected everything. The capital market was affected, where these people will go for the funds. Even those who have the funds are also keeping it. They are off street by virtue of the COVID-19. So in the wisdom of the National Insurance Commission, they felt that the most appropriate thing to do is to seek, is to grant an extension, from the September this year, to September 2021.
Okay, it's been extended to September 2021.
As against this year that ordinarily it should have been.
Okay, now what are the options available to the insurance companies to meet the recapitalization target?
Well, thank you very much. Insurance is also a regulated market, and of course, this regulation affects their ability to raise funds. There are guidelines, but I like to say here that many of these companies are already hitting the capital market to raise funds. Some of them are already granting right issues. Some of them are already contacting even foreign investors, whom they are dangling, some form of what I can say carrots to, to come and buy into those companies. You have private placements. Some are issuing, bonuses, for existing shareholders, just to increase the share capacity or the share volume, of those shareholders that are already with them. Why, of course, some, like I said, are looking out even outside the shores of the country to venture capitalists who they want to come in and be a part of the game. And I can tell you that without necessarily being partial or emotional about it, that the insurance industry offers enormous potentials for investors who dare to bring their funds here, because our nation is grossly underinsured. And of course, you have what the market analysts we call a lot of blue ocean, those are areas where businesses can plunge into and make very good returns on their investment.
Okay, talking about the options that is available to the insurance company, you mentioned foreign investors.
Yes.
Now, if you are bringing in foreign investors, how are we sure that the local content policy will not be compromised?
Well, that's a fantastic question, but like I told you before, the raising of funds is at the behest of NICOM, which is the government regulatory institution. And what that connotes is that NICOM is just folding its arms and expecting people to bring, and expecting companies to bring money from anywhere. You have to submit, your, let me call it this way, your source of money, where your money is coming from. And it is also subjected to some conformity process, whereby, oh no, we can't take this. This is a negation of another law. No, there's an extant law on this. No, you can't do this. You better look at this option. So some of this advisory, even before, with the start of the recapitalization process, to my knowledge, NICOM has been doing that. And of course, so they are there as the gate man, as well as the filter, that even though these companies need money, but then we cannot bring in, they cannot bring in money that is going to cause challenges in terms of regulatory issues or legal issues to our country. Because, of course, NICOM will be cognizant of this issue you have raised in filtering and advising companies on the suitability of the funds they are bringing to beef up their capital base.
Okay, we still have till September 30th, 2021 yeah, for the deadline for the recapitalization. Sure. Now, how is the insurance companies, how are they faring now?
Well, I can say that with what we have on ground, I'm quite pessimistic that the insurance industry is going to wade through. At least I can say from my own permutation that 90% will wade through. And why am I saying this? Because even as it is today, the insurance industry of today is not what it was yesterday. For as much as I can say that we have not recorded 100% or we are not there, but I can see some measure of public confidence in the industry. I can see some measure of credibility that the industry is already earning, far beyond what we used to have before. So based on those parameters, I want to believe that these companies are going to be able to meet it. But now I can say there is a frenzy in the industry, which is expected. Every company is looking and dusting up, areas where they could get funds. And of course, this is affecting their focus because, of course, when you're looking for money, it also affects the money you are spending and the way you spend those monies. And of course, this may have some sidebacks on human resource, which is quite expected. It may have some cutbacks on some other expenditure, which they may be incurring prior to this time. So you have some of these shakes here and there, but for many of them, or almost all of them, there's a focus. Their eyes are on the ball to ensure that come September 2021, that almost all of them breast the tape. And of course, I must also chip in here that there is a lot of support that the industry is getting, even from NICOM. I must give them that credit. Okay. They are also coming up regularly. The type of regulatory oversight that we have today is not the type that we had years back, where like the local police, you are waiting for a criminal, quote and unquote, to cross the line, and then you carry the stick and go and hit them and say, I've caught you. No, but this time around, they are in there, they are trying to assist them in terms of advisory services, in terms of tips here and there, and they are quite more open, to them, removing the veil of threat and so that we used to have, many years back. So you have a friendly NICOM that if any of these companies have, and mind you, even NICOM's shifting of these dates is also a product of the consensus between the industry, is an indication of the consensus that is extant in the industry today. They went to them, Mr. NICOM or the commissioner, you are also in town, you see what is happening. we cannot meet this. Why not like a rescheduling?
Okay.
And you can see Nikon could have insisted that wherever you want to get the money, go and get it from. As far as we are concerned, June 30 is sacrosanct. But they are not doing that, which is an indication of the fact that this commission is very friendly, and the leadership of the commissioner under Mr. Sunday Thomas is a very, very progressive and very, very open to help institutions.
Okay, thank you very much. You've spoken very well about the benefits of the insurance recapitalization. You are familiar with the insurance brokers.
Yeah, sure.
But why is it that the recapitalization is not extended to the insurance brokers?
Well, this is the mistake that a lot of people make. Insurance brokers are the professional intermediaries in the insurance value chain. And their position or their status is akin to the status of an architect, akin to the status of a lawyer, akin to the status of a medical doctor who has his expertise to sell.
Okay.
It's not carrying any weight it's not carrying any weight other than, the underwriters. So what he does is to go around and ensure that he gives his own advisory services. He ensures that clients get, the fullest benefits, for engaging with the insurance industry, and also by helping them to get the possible rates, and at the very critical point of a claim settlement, that's when he comes up and displays his dexterity and experience in terms of what he's doing in the insurance value chain. So, such type of person, you don't ask a medical doctor to go and recapitalize, or you don't ask lawyers to go and recapitalize. So, that's why. But what you need from them is actually, and which they already have, is actually what we call their professional indemnity. Okay. Every broker that operates in the Nigerian insurance market today and that is registered, has what we call professional indemnity, which is to help, anybody you advise. It's a policy that is put in for professionals, in case, let me put it this way, you misadvise your client. He can make a claim, against that kind of misadvice. So that's the type of policy that insurance brokers have, rather than ask them to go and recapitalize.
Okay, peradventure, September 2021, if there is any insurance company that could not meet up with the recapitalization target, what is going to happen to that insurance company?
Well, it will be, don't let me say it will be too bad for that company, but let me say that it will be another step, leapfrog for that company, because whatever happens in life generally is actually a window to another opportunity. But if you recall that similar recapitalization took place in 2003, that was when we had the classification of the insurance industry to life, to general, and to composite, and of course the reinsurance, which template we are following now. And of course some companies could not meet up. A few of them followed the template of merger. A few follow, which could also repeat itself. And a few also fused out and decided to close shop, which is of course allowed. That means you don't have the capacity to run as an insurance company. You file in for liquidation and ensure that all your liabilities are settled, with all your assets. There's a law of karma. There's karma that has, the winding off process. But I can tell you that there will be those three categories. A larger chunk of them, as we speak today, are going to make it. You have a very thin line that may not be able to make it, but we opt for merger, with, I can tell you some companies merged at the 2003, at the aftermath of 2003, and you also have some margin. And you have very few that we just fizzle out like that, for which whatever is left of them can then be taken over by whoever is interested.
Okay, let's talk about the image of the insurance companies during the COVID-19 dispensation.
Yeah.
A lot of industries cried to government for palliatives and so on and so forth. Now, how is the insurance image faring during this COVID-19 dispensation?
Well, I can say fantastic. Ironically, when, according to you, some companies are crying to government for palliatives, the insurance industry gave palliative to government, gave a palliative support to the federal government. And I cannot say offhand now the exact amount that the entire industry, made up of underwriters and particularly the brokers, donated to the federal government as their own contribution to the COVID relief. To the extent, for the first time in the history of the industry, that the president of this country, openly applauded the insurance industry for its support, at the period of need. And that is one of the highest commendation in recent times that is going, and recognition that is coming from the government. So on that, the industry fared well in terms of its corporate image. But this corporate image, I can tell you, was hand. How do I mean was hand? It is at the expense of some of these companies saying, whatever is going to cost us, we are not going to retrench our staff. Like you have some retrenchments going on all over around, for which I'm sure that you know some sectors that are also badly hit. I can tell you that the insurance industry tried as much as possible to stay above waters. That's why you're not hearing so much hue and cry about, so companies, even like some banks, the companies have not, retrenched their staff or cut back on the allowances they are taking. And it shows some measure of dexterity on the part of the managers of some of these companies, which is giving good image. I read recently about one of the underwriters that said, all my staff, all our workers must work from home till next year. And all the allowances and everything, they are perfectly paid. And all claims, as we speak, even in the course of the pandemic, the industry was paying, because that was a time that the chain ought to have broken, because a lot of controversy about, COVID-19, is it covered, is it not covered? And all this, I was really, personally, I was afraid for the industry, but they've been able, through the effective leadership of the industry and the managerial competencies of the individual managing directors and their teams, they've been able to set our afloat in terms of this. So what should have ordinarily been a bugging headache for image makers like us, actually was just an easy ride for us, So that's
okay, thank you very much. Talking about image making, there is this perceived low penetration of insurance that some school of thought ascribed to as a result of low awareness of insurance in the country. How do you think the insurance companies, especially the insurance image managers, how do you think they can wade through this challenge and make insurance better than what it is?
Well, thank you very much, the moderator. I want to say that, when we sometimes bring up opinions like this, it gives an impression as if the industry has not been doing anything, but the industry has been doing a lot. But there is a very large room for improvement. There's a saying that the largest room in life is the room of improvement. So, and I take that, as a challenge, also primarily being an image person myself, a public relations person. What I think we are making some headway in terms of communicating with the elites. And how do I mean? On the social media today, you see a lot of stuff that are being pushed in there. On the newspapers, you bear me witness that you also see a lot that is being pushed there. But there are areas where corporate affairs or image menders should work, and that's in the area of storytelling. The industry needs to tell more of its story. You see, not many people know that insurance company, even as we speak today, they pay huge claims. They pay small claims. They pay intermediate claims. But how many people are aware? you know. So we have a lot of potentials. The Bible says that nobody lights a candle and put it under the bushel. So we should be able to make stories out of all those things that we're doing, so that the public will see the extent to which we're working. Just today or yesterday, there was a bank that was engulfed in fire. And as we speak now, I can tell you that that's a job for the insurance industry. They are already there. Their technical people are there taking record, taking whatever they are going to do. Nobody sees that happening. We can put that, you know, before the eyes of the people. You know, when accidents happen on the road, you know, we have a place to make a news out of it. You don't need these fisticuffs. You don't need this boxing and fighting and tearing each other's clothes on the road, where all you need is your third party. Many people have the third party, but they don't even believe that it can fly. So let's make news out of it. Let's do some measure of storytelling and street intervention. Let's do some street intervention so that credibility can be backed. People can say, yes, what these people are doing is really credible. Let me tell you, a story that someone told me, which I was very, very happy about. Said 2 people were fighting on the road because their vehicles hit each other. And the woman, who happened to be a broker and an insurance person, just went there and said, gentlemen, stop fighting. You don't need to fight. They said, why should we not fight? This man has spoiled my car. I have to give it to him, you know, the usual thing. And he said, you don't need to fight. Do you have insurance? He said, what is insurance going to do in this one? It's going to do a lot. Just give it to me. Lo and behold, one of them had comprehensive insurance. And he said, so you have this thing and you are fighting. The man still didn't believe until the woman said, look at me. You know, I don't look like somebody who has come to con you here. This is my phone number. Give me your own phone number and I'm going to contact the insurance company. Do you know that from the testimony I had, less than 1 week, the claim was settled. And the man was so happy, and it was incredible to him. So we can make news out of such people, you know, in form of our storytelling.
What you are saying in essence is that insurance works.
Fantastically. I have loads and loads of stories I can tell, but you know,
okay, let's just do without story.
Times are constrained.
Yes. And this is the last one.
Okay.
Final words of encouragement to our viewers on insurance generally. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. There's a slogan in the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers which says that whatsoever is worth having or worth keeping is worth insuring. Whatsoever you are going to lose that will make you to lose your sleep, please go and insure it. So insurance is your companion, is the last hope of the common man, whether you are poor or whether you are rich. In fact, I must address this. It's the poor people or those who perceive themselves as average, as against their belief, that should insure more, because the rich have second strike capability. They have recovery capability than you. Somebody who took a cooperative loan of 2 million to buy a car and is going to pay back over a period of 3 years is committing a lot of sacrifice, and he could not insure the car for 100,000. Can you see that? Does that not look foolhardy? So tomorrow, if the car is stolen, he gets down and down more into the precipice of poverty. So whatever is worth having is worth insuring.
And that's where we are going to wrap it up today. Whatever that is going to make you to lose your sleep, you better insure it.
When you lose it.
When you lose it, exactly.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tope Adaramola, Deputy Executive Secretary, the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, and of course, the Public Relations Practitioner. Thank you for coming on Nigerian's Economy today.
My pleasure.
And that is the end of today's show. The conversation obviously continues on our social media platform. I am Tunde Odeyemi. God bless Nigeria.